Hello students, today we are going to discuss the very first chapter of your English textbook titled A Panorama of Life. The title of your chapter is Gender Bias, written by the famous Indian author named Sudha Murthy. First of all, I would like to give a brief introduction of the author of this chapter. Sudha Murthy is an Indian engineering teacher and Kannada and English author as well as a social worker. She is also the chairperson of the Infosys Foundation. She is the wife of co-founder of Infosys, N. R. Narayan Murthy. She began her professional career in computer science and engineering. She is renowned for her noble mission of providing computer and library facilities in all government schools of Karnataka. Her stories deal with lives of common people and social issues. So now I am going to give a brief introduction of the chapter Gender Bias. The present chapter, Gender Bias, is an extract from the collection of stories How I Taught My Grandmother to Read. The book is a collection of 25 heartwarming stories from the life of the author Sudha Murthy. In this particular essay, the writer describes how she applied for and got a job that had been advertised solely for men. So let us now begin with the text of chapter first. It was long time ago. I was young and bright. I here means Sudha Murthy. The author Sudha Murthy is talking about herself. It was long time ago. I was young and bright, bold and idealistic. She says Sudha Murthy is telling us that a long time ago she was young, bold, energetic and idealistic at the time. I was in the final year of my master's course in computer science at the Indian Institute of Science, IISc in Bangalore. At the time, she was in the final year of her master's course in computer science in Bangalore, then known as the Tata Institute. The name of that institute was Tata Institute at that time when she was doing her final year in the master's course of computer science. Life was full of fun and joy. She is telling us that her life was full of cheerfulness at that time when she was a student in the Tata Institute. I did not know what helplessness or injustice meant. She did not know anything about the injustice or the bias on any basis. It was probably the April of 1974. Bangalore was getting warm and gulmohars were blooming at the IISc campus. In these lines, she is giving us a brief idea of the weather or the environment of Bangalore and IISc campus. I was the only girl in my postgraduate department and was staying at the ladies' hostel. She was the only girl student in her postgraduate department. And she was also staying as a student. She was staying at the ladies' hostel in that campus. Other girls were pursuing research in different departments of science. I was looking forward to going abroad to complete a doctorate in computer science. She was she here says that I was looking forward. Looking forward here means she was planning to go abroad to complete a doctorate in computer science. I had been offered scholarship from universities in the US. She was a very bright student, so universities from abroad were offering her scholarships. I had I had not thought of taking up a job in India. One day, while on the way to my hostel from our lecture hall complex, I saw an advertisement on the notice board. She is sharing an incident with her when she was going back to her hostel from her lecture hall. I saw an advertisement on the notice board. She saw an advertisement being displayed on the notice board. It was a standard job requirement notice from the famous automobile company Telco, now Tata Motors. That notice about the advertisement of a standard job was displayed on that notice board by Telco, which is now known as Tata Motors. It stated that the company required young, bright engineers, hardworking and with an excellent academic background, etc. It means the notice board, the advertisement on the notice board stated that the company needed a young, bright, hardworking engineer with an excellent academic background who have obtained good marks in his academics. At the bottom was a small line, lady candidates need not apply. At the bottom of that notice board, of that advertisement on the notice board, was mentioned that lady candidates need not apply. I read it and was very upset. Why she was upset? Because the advertisement which was being displayed on the notice board made clear that lady candidates need not apply, means there was something of bias or prejudice with the ladies. I read it and was very upset. For the first time in life, I was up against gender discrimination. It was that time when she was against gender discrimination or gender bias for the first time in her life. Though I was not keen on taking up the job, I saw it as a challenge. She was not interested to take up a job in India, but in fact, she was against the gender discrimination or gender bias. So she took up that advertisement which was against the equality of the gender. She saw it as a challenge. I had done extremely well in academics, better than most of my male peers. She was very intelligent student and she had also obtained very good marks in her academics, in her exams. Little did I know then that in real life academic excellence is not enough to be successful. Little did I know then. At that time in the past, she was not much aware about that only academic excellence is not enough to be successful in one's life. After reading the notice, I went fuming to my room. Fuming here means raging with anger. After reading the notice, Sudhamurthy went raging or went in an anger to her room. I decided to inform the topmost person in Telco's management about the injustice the company was perpetrating. She made her mind to inform the topmost person in that telco company. She made her mind that she will inform him about the injustice the telco company was perpetrating. I got a postcard and started to write, but there was a problem. I did not know who headed telco. When she started writing a letter, there was a problem which she was facing at the time. She didn't know who headed telco, that who was the head of telco company. I thought it must be one of the Tatas. I knew J.R.D. Tata was the head of the Tata group. She knew that J.R.D. Tata. She thought that he might be the head of Tata group. I had seen his pictures in newspapers. Actually, Sumant Moolgaonkar was the company's chairman then. I took the card, addressed it to JRD, and started writing. To this day, I remember clearly what I wrote. She says that till now she remembered the wording of that letter which she wrote to the head of telco company. The wording of that letter was, the great Tatas have always been pioneers. That the great Tatas have always been pioneers. They are beginners of any great task. They are the people who started the basic infrastructure industries in India, such as iron and steel, chemicals, textiles, and locomotives. She remembered, she started her letter to the head of the Tata Telco company by appreciating them. She said that they are the people who started the basic infrastructure industries like iron and steel, chemicals, textiles, and locomotives. Locomotives means railway engine that pulls train. Means the Tata company has made every infrastructural things in India. They have cared for higher education in India since 1900, and they were responsible for the establishment of the Indian Institute of Science. Fortunately, I studied there. She was studying in their institute, Indian Institute of Science. But I am surprised how a company such as Telco is discriminating on the basis of gender. She was surprised to see that even such a great country like Telco is discriminating on the basis of gender. I posted the letter and forgot about it. She says that she posted that letter which she wrote to the head of the telco company, and after posting it she forgot totally about it. Less than 10 days later, I received a telegram stating that I had to appear for an interview at Telco's Pune office at the company's expense. In that telegram, it was stated that she had to appear for an interview at Telco's office, which had been established in Pune, at the company's own expense for an interview. I was taken aback by the telegram. Taken aback. Taken aback means she was shocked. She was shocked to read their telegram. My hostel mates told me that I should use the opportunity to go to Pune free of cost. Her hostel mates, her friends of her hostel, they compelled her that she should use the opportunity and go to Pune for an interview and buy them the famous Pune saris for cheap. And they compelled her to go there to visit Pune for her interview and buy them the famous Pune saris for cheap on reasonable prices. So students, these are the first two pages which we have covered or discussed today, and the remaining part of this first chapter we will do it in the next lecture. Thank you very much.